Hey, I'm Jeff with Code 4 Cooking. Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing part of our breakfast series in eggs. Everything scrambled. Just scrambled eggs. My name is Jeff Antonaco. I was a paramedic for over 26 years. I did my bit for King and Country, but it took its toll. Physically, emotionally, and mentally. One thing that could always bring me peace and calm, and that's cooking. Ask my partners. We ate well. Now I want to share that place with you. For my first responder and military family, I want to share my knowledge and experience of cooking, start to finish, with me, and hope you can find your peace and calm while cooking. And to anyone else just starting or in need of a person to cook with, from gathering and prepping our ingredients to cooking, and finally plating and tasting, let's help you find that peace and calm as well in cooking. So come on, cook with me. All right, welcome. Today we're going to be doing scrambled eggs. We're going to be using 2 eggs to scramble with. We've got our non-stick skillet and our stainless steel. So we're going to scramble them in both so you guys can see the difference in how they cook. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pan started. I'm going to turn our hood on. We're cooking with gas. Now, I know you've heard me say this in other videos. I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to keep saying it. When you're cooking and you're wanting to heat your pan up, you want the heat source 3/4 of the way out the pan. 3/4 of the way out. So when you look at it, that's a good flame. That's way too much. Bring it down so that it's hitting the 3/4 of the pan. And that way we're going to get an even heat. It's going to heat in and out in an evenly fashion. Now this is non-stick, so metal utensils are right out the door. Got some plastic here, Rubbermaid spatula. This is what we're going to be using. And so we're going to go ahead and crack our eggs into the bowl. Now remember, normally I would say don't crack them on the side of the bowl because it might break the yolk. We're breaking the yolk. Just to keep your habit up though, still crack them on a flat surface. That way in the future, you're used to doing it here and not having a problem. So we're going to crack that, drop it in. Grab our next egg, crack it in, there we go. Alright, you can use a whisk, small whisk if you'd like, otherwise a fork works perfect. Just pop those yolks, you're just going to make a rotation. So you just tip the bowl up a little bit and start rotating it around. Well, that's kind of what you're going to be doing. And you can start turning it, making it a nice even mixture. And as you get better, you end up going faster. Now, these are whipped, that's heating up. Here's what I'm going to tell you before we get pouring these things in here, because the eggs cook quickly. Most people overcook their eggs, their scrambled eggs in particular. They see it glistening, and they think that's uncooked egg. And so they keep cooking it until it's a hard curdle. That is a dried out scrambled egg. It's going to be glistening. That's the water in the egg. It's done. And that should be a nice, creamy texture. Now, a lot of the chefs and people will tell you that a lot of times they'll add like creme fraiche, which is nothing more than fresh cream. You can use sour cream, yogurt, a little dollop of cottage cheese. Anything that you want to add to it right at that finishing point to keep them creamy. I've always thought people that added ketchup to eggs were doing it because the eggs were so dry. It may just be that they like ketchup on their eggs, and that's great. But I find that people are overcooking their eggs, so I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you how it can be done where they're nice and creamy and not overdone. So, as always, a little dollop of butter, and get it in the pan. Start swirling that around. And you see how hot that pan is? We're going to put our eggs in here. Put a little bit of a turn. And the eggs go in. And from here, we're going to turn off our heat source. So our heat's off. And now you want to just keep these things moving. There is so much leftover heat in this pan that we will finish cooking these eggs and not have to put it back on any type of heat. There you go. Already, you can see, guess what? Those are done. That glistening that you're seeing here is not undercooked egg. That is the water content. So we're going to take these, we're going to put them over here on a plate. Now, did you see how fast that cooked? Look at those eggs. No big heavy curdles. Nice and creamy. They're perfect. Now, if you want to take them a little bit further for your liking, go for it. Could have brought it off a little bit sooner. That would have been fine too. When you're making scrambled eggs, because they cook so quickly, if you're going to have any additional ingredients that you want to go into it, like salt or pepper, have it ready. Because, let me tell you, cook quick. Now, if they're cooking too quick, they're too hot. It could be argued that we let that pan heat up too much because the moisture, the water content came out of the butter, and we got a brown butter. Now, I don't have a problem with brown butter. It's nice, it's nutty, brings another extra layer of flavor to the eggs. Really enjoyable. So we're going to go ahead again with this stainless steel. That's our heat. That's where we want it. Now we're going to go ahead with our other two eggs. Crack that in there. Crack that in there. Whoop. Yeah, we got a little bit of a shell in there. There we go. This is why we do it. Crack it into a bowl. Alright. Now that pan's heating up, so let's get these things scrambled up. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to this group of eggs as we put it in here. Alright, now, stainless steel, I can use a metal in metal. So, I'm going to get a nice little knob of butter here. Get that in. Start working it around. Never have too much. Yeah, they could. But realistically, that's great. Grab my pepper. Get that ready. My salt ready. That pan's getting almost right where we want it for heat. So again, you can use the Rubbermaid spatulas in the stainless steel. I find that the metal utensils work better. Same thing with the Rubbermaid. If you're cooking at a lower temperature, they're going to work just fine. Okay? So, see our butter is spread out. Excuse me. You can feel the heat coming off of that pan. It's not too hot, but it's not going to go in and immediately sizzle. Let's drop those eggs in there. Now that's a little bit more, not quite a sizzle, but a crackle. And I'll tell you why. Because as soon as it went in there, you heard that little faint little crackle died out because it took that much heat out of that pan. And now, you want to keep them moving. So you get these curds are developing. Alright, now we don't want that to sit still. We can go underneath and turn it. Guess what? Take it off the heat. Turn that element off. Just keep moving it around. And what you're doing is you're moving it around, turning it onto all the different hot spots in the pan. we'll have some people say, I always burn them onto the bottom of the pan. They're tough to clean after that. It's because you cooked it too high of a heat. Too high of a heat for too long, and you overcooked them. This is how the eggs should look. We're going to put these onto a plate. So there you go. Even a stainless steel pan. Look at that. Clean. And our eggs. There you go. You can't go wrong with that. That glistening egg. Look at the creaminess of it. Great texture. I just forgot to put my salt and pepper on. Sometimes you get to talking. Just a little bit. Just see how it just blends together. Very creamy. Now, I'll show you both plates here. This one came out of nonstick, this one came out of stainless steel. This had the brown butter in it, so you can see it's got that little bit more of a nutty appearance to it, where without the brown butter it's that creamy yellow. So both sets of eggs are good. Like I said, the brown butter just adds a little nuttiness to it. Cook low with your eggs. Keep them moving. You don't have to whisk them. Just once they get in, turn the temperature off. Let the heat of that pan just finish cooking those off so they're nice and creamy and rich. If you get to that point where you're ready to pour them on the plate and you want to throw some of that creme fraiche in there or cream or whatever you have, go for it. Little slice of American cheese. Just let it go ahead and have a gentle melt. Alright, well that's it for scrambled eggs. I hope this works out well. Later on we're going to talk about omelets and frittatas and things like that. I think if you do scrambled eggs and you start throwing meats in it, I call it more of a scramble than an omelet. And I'll talk more about the differences that I think between the scramble and an omelet another time. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these videos. And, remember, you're never out of the fight. You're not alone. So I'll always be able to come back here with Code 4 Cooking and we'll cook together. All right? Take care.